Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Welcome to Studio Chatter. We've got a good variety of guests lined up for you today.
I'm Stacy Beck. We'll talk with a local chiropractor about their care for accident victims.
And I'm Angie Murphy. We'll talk with a realtor about the current real estate market.
And we'll learn how to help your ADHD student in school. That and more coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. We're midway through February and just hoping the closer we get to March that we can finally thaw out.
Let's pray.
Yes.
Yeah, once we hit February 15th, I'm like, okay, we're getting the worst behind us, right?
Yeah, but it was bitter cold today, guys.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, bitter cold.
I'm like windy, bitter cold.
Yeah.
That Spanish Fork wind was high and tight today.
Chills to the bone.
Maybe that's why I'm in a huge jacket.
Exactly.
Right?
Maybe that's why it feels that way, right? To kind of, yes.
Yeah, I wore my big winter coat in here, and it's not snowing. It's just cold.
Yeah, and then what you got down there, Stacey?
Well, I want to say, remember our last episode, Big Brat Boutique, for our viewers that maybe missed watching it. You might want to go back. You can find us on YouTube
You missed
or
some
social
goodies.
media. But they brought in the cutest pair of boots. So the next day, I told my husband, I'm going to run down to Big Brat and get my Valentine's gift. Go ahead and go pick yourself up something. So these are the ones I got.
These are the darn cute boots.
And they're turquoise inside.
They're so cute.
I'm going to get my use out of these.
Yeah, you are.
I think
mean, not just for rodeo
beautiful.
time, but all the time. I think they're classy and
They look
cute.
very stylish. I love it.
Yeah, I do too.
When they were here, do you remember her saying, because I've used this a couple times as I've, got ready. She's like, when you think you have enough, add one more piece.
Yes.
Do you remember her saying
Yes,
that?
I do.
Like jewelry or whatever. So I'm like,
add something else.
Layer, add more, another.
Where I feel like I'm in the 90s when I do that, when you just had gauze.
Right?
And,
Yeah.
leg warmers.
But that's kind of the style too, right?
It is.
Wait, what's the movie? Is it with
Girls Just Want to Have Fun? No.
No. With, gosh, flair. What they have a little more flair on their lanyard, but they all work at the restaurant. No. Okay. Well, I can't remember.
It was a 90s show.
Yes, and I kind of want to go copy the trend that she had as well with the lapel pin. I just thought that was the cutest.
That was cute. Just add a little pop of something.
Yes.
Yeah, those were darling.
Tell us what it is once you remember.
The movie. Well, it's not going to come to me right now.
No.
We might be sitting here a long time.
Text us later.
Goodness gracious, yes.
So did you both have a good Valentine's?
I think so. I had to work, which, is fine.
Yeah.
But then I sent flowers to my kids. Sent
that's
flowers to
nice.
Bo, too. And it was kind of sweet. They were all super grateful, so that was kind of fun. And then on Super Bowl Sunday, I got those Valentine sugar cookie kits from Lemon Tree.
I saw your Instagram.
And it was
that
so
looked like
cute.
So much fun.
They had a heyday, and the cookies were delicious, guys.
That was
They
Lemon
were
Tree,
so
right?
good.
Lemon Tree Bakery.
Another shout out to one of our
Yes. So what I want to know though, did you order them from her direct?
Yes.
Or she also had some kits down at Stone Drug.
I'm the one that told Stone Drug about her.
Right.
Because I went in to get a prescription, and they're like, hey, Angie, Amberly was asking me, do you have anyone else who's recently been on the show, a small business that we could have come down? And it just clicked. And I was like, and she's like, okay, I'm going to reach out to her. So I'm glad for the connection. That was really awesome.
Yeah, that's really
cool. That's funny because
great.
yesterday someone was talking to me about the Dramadon segment.
Yeah.
I was down at the high school. Mayor and council were delivering Valentines, and so we ran into Grayson, and Pete took a picture of us. And,
so cute.
And then someone today said, oh, I saw you with one of the Dramadons. And when I watched your segment, and so it's been fun, like talking to people and having them connect.
Right.
Yes.
The fact that they were asking me, like, who could we get in here, it was just great to have that connection of different people.
And I think it's good to remind our viewers at home, if you want to go back to watch something, you can find us on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook.
Yep.
Or connections that you would love to have come on the show. I actually had a couple of texts this past week, so hoping to see some new faces joining us.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it'll be super fun.
That's fun.
Lots
And
of
it
fun
was
people
your
out there.
anniversary along with Valentine's.
Yes, it was.
I forget this.
Did you happen to remember it?
Yes, and he remembered as well. Yes, it was. It was 14 years on the 14th.
Oh my heavens!
I know. Too bad we weren't in Hawaii like some people.
Oh,
But I
darn.
like even years match up
Wasn't
like that.
that so fun?
That's
Yes, it
work
was super
special.
fun. Yes, and we're right in that season of life. We're super busy, so Valentine's for the kids. But I had some beautiful gifts and flowers and
That's awesome.
yes, and then
Happy anniversary.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. And then we made a really great dinner. We had filet mignon
Ooh, yummy.
and shrimp and asparagus and fettuccine
Ooh.
and Caesar salad and.
Did you make it like for the whole fam?
We did.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. It's tricky
we
when
have
it's
to.
a-
We have
You
to
didn't put the
include them.
And I told her I do not want to go out during this week. Let's go out next week.
Well,
but
you know-
he brought home Chipotle and we just watched a movie
fun.
the Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
we went to Pizza Factory for lunch,
yummy.
thinking, okay, let's beat the crowd. But then we were out delivering Valentine's gifts to family at night. So then we just went through In-N-Out drive-through.
Aw, how cute is
super
that?
romantic, I know. It goes along with the boots. When I say, honey, I got my own Valentine's gift, and we're going to go to In-N-Out for dinner. But have you guys?
it is
Everyone
like
probably
that.
already knows this, but you get the protein style burger.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't
Right?
know.
I didn't know.
That was a new thing for you?
Yes.
Nice,
For those
Stace.
of you who don't know, you get the protein style, so you don't get the bun, and
Right.
you get a double, so you get meat. But then Chris got a double.
So you get the double protein
So he had
style,
a pound
animal
of burger.
style.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, animal style.
Once
Yep.
we ordered, he was Googling, and he's like, my gosh, listen to this. There's animal style. So
You can also get the Flying Dutchman.
Yep.
That is just kind of the same thing, but without the fixings. So it's
Yep.
like the 2 patties and the cheese. So there you go. Yeah,
Wow.
all these fun keto
Fancy things.
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
I learned something new. I learned
That's
something
good.
new. So I'm excited for today's show.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good
fun.
one.
That's
We have
super
some
fun.
cool people.
Well, it's a fun month.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, kind of coming to a close, but
And when
And it's a short month, which I
Yes.
kind of like. It just keeps rolling excitement and you get
Busy,
through February
busy,
easily.
yeah.
we were eating dinner, and it was like 6:10, and it wasn't pitch black. I'm like, it's changing. It's starting to
Yes.
shift in
Yes.
time.
okay, we just have to say though, your photos on Instagram, your I don't what were they, your Valentine pictures?
Our Valentines that I just
Oh, your
Oh my gosh.
oldies? Oh, I love that,
Yeah,
Stace.
really?
That was
Oh,
cute.
you're
yes.
so cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I just
And I
hurried
saw a
pulled
lot
out
of
scrapbooks.
Braden and Chris, which I never noticed before when
really?
he was younger. Yes.
And we saw Braden's son Brady now in Braden.
Oh, yeah.
So it was fun.
Some young ones.
Yeah.
Young pics.
So fun.
Thank you.
So fun. Well, next on Studio Chatter, have you heard of GymShare? Stay with us to learn more. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Do you like to work out but dread the whole gym experience? There's a better option. Let's welcome Chase Miller from GymShare to the table. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Chase and I just met last month
Yes.
at a Chamber of Commerce new networking.
Yep.
And he was telling me all about this. And we were talking about how to get exposure. I'm like, well.
I have
I
a
know
little
a
show.
person.
Yes. Like, let's get you on and let's hear all about it.
Yeah.
So before we dive into GymShare, tell us a little bit about Chase.
Yes. Okay. So I am happily married. I have my wife and I have been married for about 6 years.
Okay.
We have 2 kids. Grace and Jacob. Grace is turning 4 soon. Jacob just turned 2.
Fun.
And we have a baby on the way.
Congratulations.
So thank you. Thank you. We actually just went to the ultrasound today.
And?
So it's a girl.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
2 to 1.
Thank you. So, yep, 2 to 1.
Oh,
so,
fun.
yeah. So I'm originally from California. I'm from the Bay Area.
Okay.
Born and raised there. Went to Brigham Young University in Provo. And moved around a little bit after college. I was in finance, and then I transferred to tech, and now I live here.
Wow.
Okay, so tech and working out. Tell us a correlation or how you got to this.
So working out's, I feel like fitness in general is just in my blood. Like my dad, he was a Mr. Universe judge, you know, the bodybuilding.
Oh my
Stop it.
goodness.
How cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, he was Mr. Universe judge. He trained bodybuilders his whole life. And so I was exposed to that world at a very young age.
Right.
And so it's always just been a part of my life, played sports.
Okay.
And so, but the thing that frustrated me a lot is other people don't have the same mindset, the same access, the same drive to exercise, and I was like, how can I make a difference? Like, what can I do? Clearly, the gym experience today isn't working. Right? I saw an article which gave me the idea. It's on NPR, and it talked about most big box gyms. They don't want you to show up at the end of the day.
They just want the money.
They just want the money.
Yeah.
And so
that makes sense.
And so now we see in our world today, children especially, like obesity's rising.
Right.
Right?
Completely, yes.
And obesity is one of the #1 causes for chronic diseases, which is 70% of all deaths in the United States. And I thought to myself, how can I change that? Like, how can I make a difference in this world?
Yeah.
And that's where Gym Shore was born.
Which I think is so innovative, because every time I've gone into a big box gym, like, I'm intimidated. I feel like I've got to like be fit in order to show up there. And so this private type setting really intrigues me. Like, I would rather do that. I would rather work out at home, but I don't necessarily have the equipment.
Yeah.
So then we spiral. So then you come in.
Do you feel like you're more motivated? Like, even if you have the equipment in your own house, sometimes, I mean, I have a couple pieces. You just look at it, and it just becomes a piece of
like a
furniture.
challenge.
And you almost feel like you need to go somewhere, but for all those reasons, you
don't want to go there.
Right.
So then, Chase, what the heck is Gym Share?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yes, yeah. Gym Share is a home gym sharing platform similar to Airbnb, just for home gyms, to put it very simply. So, you know, as you mentioned, the whole purpose is privacy.
Okay.
So you reserve a time slot, you get the entire gym to yourself. So.
And what are the time spots?
So gyms are open 24/7. 24/7, 365, unless the home gym owner says, hey, I don't want my gym open from these hours, or I don't want my home gym on this day, because it's their home gym. They can do what they want with it, right? But we just encourage them to leave it open as long as possible.
Okay.
So the home gyms, what kind of criteria do they have to meet to become a part of your list,
Great
right?
question. Great question. So one of the biggest things that we're concerned about is liability.
Sure.
Right. When we first thought of Gym Share, we were hoping that people had this, but we just weren't sure. And so a lot of people have home gyms, especially after COVID. They purchase home gyms. But the issue is that it may not be in the type of setting that we want it to be. So our type of setting, to qualify, it has to be separated from your living area with a separate exclusive entrance to access it. Because we don't want someone to walk through your living area.
Yes, I was going to say 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah, that gets a little tricky.
Exactly. That's a liability issue waiting to happen.
So they have to walk right into the gym, or just into the basement where it's kind of locked off or anything?
I'll give you an example of my home gym. So my home gym is here in Spanish Fork. It's the first one on the platform. We ran through all the kinks through my home gym. And I actually had to build a wall. So I have a 3-car garage, right? I built a wall to separate the 2-car from the 3-car, from the 3rd car. And there's already a door to access the 3rd car. So then when gymmers, which are users, when they come in,
I love it.
They come in through the 3rd car garage, they never interact with me ever, unless I'm training them, right? But that, we want to avoid as much liability as possible.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is an app you've developed.
Correct.
Just like Airbnb or Uber, and so you get on and you're like, ooh, I'm drawn to this gym, or ooh, this is the one I want to go to. So you just kind of go through and start looking like vicinity, how far you want to drive, what things are there that you're interested in.
Yep, exactly. So let's say you wanted to play pickleball. You go to the Mapleton one. Or if you wanted to go to a pool, also the Mapleton one for now.
Okay.
But like eventually,
we need to get on this Mapleton one.
but eventually, think of it like DoorDash, right? If you wanted pizza, you filter it, and all the ones that like are for pizza, you do pizza.
Okay.
If you want Chinese food, but it's a similar thing. You want to play pickleball, all the ones that'll pop up. Obviously, right now we only have one that can service that, but eventually, think about this: batting cages, pickleball courts, pools. Obviously gyms, like if you wanted a Peloton bike, if you wanted, right, it's yours, and it's for one price, right?
Okay, I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
How do we work that?
So, unlike most big box gyms, right, like big box gyms, as I mentioned at the beginning, have a bad stigma today.
Yep.
They nickel and dime you, right? That was the thing that I was very frustrated with whenever I went to a big box gym. And because they offer $10 a month or $20 a month or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's not a very expensive price. But then all of a sudden, 6 months later, I'd be hit with like a maintenance fee. I'd be like, what? Like, what is this? Right? And then if I canceled early, I'd be hit with another fee.
Yes.
And then there's the onboarding fee. I'd be hit with another fee.
Yep.
And so with GymShare, we want to we want to give gyms a better name, right? So we just have the one price, and that's it. You can cancel anytime, no contracts at all.
And what's the price?
Great question. So we have two, well, technically three models, right?
Okay.
So the first one is an annual, which is $29.99 per month, right?
But you pay that
up front. And then we also have a month-to-month, which is $34.99, so an extra about $5.
Oh, yeah.
That's
so
not bad at all.
Nope. And then you can also do a day pass for $9.99. However, it's still in the works, but we're announcing something called a partner pass. Think of like Costco membership. So you and a friend, you and a spouse, you and a significant other, you can actually share the same membership.
Okay.
And you're only adding half the price.
Okay.
Right? And you don't have to go at the same time. Like one of you could go in the morning, the other could go in the afternoon.
Or what if I want to go Mapleton swimming, but my husband wants to go lift weights somewhere else?
You can do that.
It's just wherever.
Yep.
Just a discounted rate for two.
Yep.
Awesome.
How is a person accessing the gyms? Like, so I've made my reservation. Let's say I want to come to your gym.
Yep.
Then is it just open? Are there like certain codes for certain times maybe?
Great question. So what we want to do to obviously protect home gym owners, protect gymmers at the same time, is that whenever you go to a new gym, right, or if you're a new gymmer for the first time, you actually have to be approved by the home gym owner.
Perfect.
Right? Home gym owners and gymmers rate and review each other. Right? So if you see a gymmer who has a great rating, great, you're probably going to approve them. But if you see a gymmer who has a bad rating and you're a home gym owner, you'd be like, ugh, I don't want them to come to my home gym, deny, and now they're not allowed to come to your home gym.
And they would be poor, like let's say they don't clean up after themselves, or they didn't come on time, and
Or they
Ruined equipment.
Right?
Okay.
So with that, right, let's say they are approved in this case.
Okay.
Then every gymmer is assigned their own code, unique code per home gym.
Okay.
Right? So nobody can share codes, right? Everyone has their own, and then you just type it in and you're in.
so my
That's
code's
it.
going to always be the same.
Correct.
Okay.
For that one gym. Once you go to another gym, it'll be different.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Eventually, obviously, we want to get to the point where it's kind of like Marriott, when you like scan your card and you open your door, it's according to the time slot or however long you stay at the Marriott. Eventually, we'll do that for your time slots for GymShare. So you just scan your watch or scan your phone, and that's it. So no codes. Eventually, we're not there yet, but eventually we'll do that.
Geez, we could keep
Wow,
going.
I know, right?
A lot
Sadly,
of
we're already out of
information.
time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
I think that's a
anything we
great
didn't
idea.
cover that you're just like, oh, I need to hurry and say this?
Well, all I'm going to say is the purpose of GymShare is to create a healthier society, one community at a time. You trust your neighbors, typically, right? Instead of
great
going to
idea.
big box gym, you go to your neighbor's house. That's the point of GymShare, to actually get exercising done and become healthier. That's the point.
Right.
Awesome.
Love it.
To learn
Good luck,
more,
Chase.
yeah.
Thank you
We'll
so
jump
much.
on Instagram and
You
follow
guys are
you.
awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, what's happening in the real estate market? We'll find out. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. In the past few years, we've seen the housing market on fire. But what's it like today? Let's welcome Amy Lynn Gardner-Jones with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services to the table.
That's a loaded question.
Right?
How does it change?
Has it changed?
And let's
I
keep
feel
up
like
with
it
you.
changed within like a few months, kind of.
You know, I think the hard part about real estate is when it changes like a sledgehammer.
Yes.
It's done. And you're like,
Yes.
okay, what just happened?
Because I felt like last April, and then all of a sudden it was just like,
By July, it
what's
was-
going on? Yes.
So you're right. So about before April of last year, people were making offers on houses.
Yes.
Sellers were in charge. So people were buying homes and paying $50,000 to $100,000 more than they were
Yes.
asking for them.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bidding war. They would have 3 offers, 20 offers, whatever, you know. And if you weren't cash, you did not get the home.
Stop it.
So as a realtor, I would put offers on properties for people. I'd write 10 offers on different houses, and we just couldn't get one. It was really difficult if they were not cash.
That
It's
is
quite
crazy.
interesting. And then it changed,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Then the rest of the year, interest rates went up.
Yes. A
Prices
lot.
came down. That's what happens. So interest rates were down, prices were up.
Yeah.
Interest rates are going up, prices come down.
Got you.
So have you noticed the houses coming down?
Yes.
Around you?
Like I've seen like 5,000, 10,
Yes.
50.
So with the
Yeah,
difference,
just
so if
depending.
the price is high and interest is low, but now it's altered, would your monthly payment kind of equal out to be
It
the
does.
same?
It does, kind
So
of.
people shouldn't
Kind of.
worry like, oh my gosh, I missed the low interest rates. But then also your rates or your overall purchase price is lower now.
Right.
But interest rates are still pretty high
Right.
right now.
You know, over the...
High in our mind.
Right,
Well,
right.
high, like
That's-
the interest rate that it is now is what we bought our first home
Exactly.
at,
So
right?
it's not high. It's
Right.
normal. I think
It's
we got
normal.
used
Right.
to crazy.
For the
low.
history of interest rates,
Yes.
30 years or whatever, we really aren't bad. 6 and 6.5%.
So
is
it's not a bad time to buy.
It's not like in the 80s when they were 14%, 17%.
Yeah,
Totally.
Right.
Right. Back in the crazy days.
I was listening to Realtor on the Hill, and so we had, what do we have, like 10 legislatures. They all live here, right here,
Okay.
all the people. And they're saying that they're really worried for the millennials because they make enough money, but houses are too expensive
Yeah.
for them
Yes.
to buy right
Yeah.
now. So they're discouraged. We've always been known as a state of low unemployment, very good job market, and affordable housing.
Yes.
Well, that's changed. And that's really sad when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because one of my kids is right in that boat. Two of my kids
Yeah.
bought a house last year, but now the third one's looking, and they are in good professions.
Yeah.
They're not in good
No, they
professions?
are.
Oh, they
like
are.
A nurse
Right.
and
But it's like the
stylist.
homes that they were looking at last year, because my one daughter is in the
Yes.
same place, is now,
A
I wouldn't
townhome
say
maybe.
double for the mortgage, but a time and a half up
Yeah.
Yes.
from what the interest rate is doing.
So
to
what's
it.
interesting now about the market, especially if you're a buyer, I would say if you're going to buy, do it now. Do it
'Cause
now,
it's just
before
gonna
the
play
third
around.
It's
quarter.
not going to get better.
Because when the third quarter hits, they're anticipating that prices are going to go up on the third
Home
quarter.
prices.
Home prices will go up.
And then the
That's
interest rates.
That's the crystal ball, right?
Got
Ooh,
you.
if we can see a crystal ball in real estate, Amy Lynn,
Oh, wouldn't
you're
that be wonderful?
genius.
We'd all be just millionaires, wouldn't we?
What's one of your favorite things about your job?
About my job?
Because you've been doing this how many years?
18 years.
Oh, wow.
And you're good.
I love
You're
it.
one of the top in Berkshire Hathaway.
I love it
Right?
so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're good.
Yeah, I think you have to just be passionate about what you do.
I love the
And
people.
I love it. And maybe it's because all the things that I've been through in life. I lived in Texas, moved to Utah, moved to Philadelphia, moved back to Utah. And the market goes up and down, right? And never really made money on houses. Not really. The market just kept doing this, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's that passion of I built and designed a home once. It was too expensive to keep, so we sold it. So I think when you go through those things, you find that you care so much about people, and that's really what I just want to know what my clients want. What do you want? What can I help you with?
Right.
As a buyer and as a seller, and a lot of times they're selling and then they're buying, right?
Yes.
So you have that kind of scenario, and it's just fun. Your segment yesterday about marriage.
Oh, yes.
Let's fix
With
marriages
this
so I
one.
don't have to sell houses where they're getting a divorce. I mean, I'm serious.
That's probably a tricky situation.
I was just going to say,
for
as
sure.
a realtor, you're a bit of a counselor too. You
Yes.
So
you're working with
true.
people at one of the most stressful decisions of their lifetime.
Yeah, it really is.
And the chances of
Biggest.
them agreeing 100% are very low.
Husband and wives don't agree.
No.
And there is never. I don't believe there is not a perfect house.
No,
there's
never,
not.
ever.
And once you get in there,
there's
then you're like,
always
oh, why did I do that?
Almost a perfect
Yes.
house, and then there's. But if I would help it there, then maybe.
And I do laugh about that. So you'll go to the Parade Homes and someone's built their dream home and it's $3
Right.
million. And a year later they're selling it. And you're like,
What happened?
what are you doing?
Right.
You built your dream home and now you're selling it.
Yeah.
But some people really do enjoy building and then building another one and then building another one. So some people really do enjoy that.
So what
stress.
does it look like
Yeah,
here? in-
I just hear you say that
Totally.
stresses me out. Yeah,
I can
I'm
tell.
like,
You
yeah.
kind of tense up like, oh no, that doesn't
Even
sound fun.
remodeling. Ooh.
Yes, yes.
So what are the trends here in Spanish Fork? Are we seeing more like smaller homes, like townhomes? Like what are we kind of edging into this next year?
We have a lot of townhomes. They are becoming more affordable. They're under 400,000, but there's still plenty of homes that are being built.
Okay.
New construction homes. This is a great time to negotiate with new construction. That's the fun part for me, is going in and saying, well, they wanted 450, but guess what? They're going to take 390 because the market's so good right now. for a buyer.
Yes.
So that's why I'm encouraging buyers. So you brought up a good point, by the way. So you should, this is something we always tease about, you should date the mortgage rate and you should marry the house. Meaning you love the house, but you can always refinance.
Yes.
Right?
Because we never know.
You never know. Interest rate
5 years,
could
10
drop
years,
to 5%,
right.
or maybe you'll be happy in a year that you got the 6 and a quarter.
Right. Yes, this is true.
I wish that we only know what we know today.
Right.
And the
Right.
speculating gets us in trouble a little bit.
It's like gambling. It's so tricky. Yeah, and you just have to jump in. Eventually, you just have to
do.
jump in and just take
And
it
it
for a
hurts.
ride.
It always hurts when you get your first
The first
home.
year
It does.
is tight no matter what.
It is so tight.
What about like we're going into spring? I've sold 3 homes, and springtime seems like the sweet spot to sell. Is that correct?
It is. March, April, May. You'll
People
start to
get
see-
antsy and want something fresh
yeah.
and new.
They do.
And the yards look a little bit better then too. Right now you're
they
like,
look pretty sad right now.
yeah.
Oh, mine looks horrible right now. We didn't get all the leaves up, so
We didn't either.
Winter came way too fast.
it did.
Way fast.
It was like too nice for too long, and so I was like, oh, next week
Yes.
we'll do those.
And then it
next
started
week.
snowing in
I've
like
seen a lot of people
November.
actually raking their nasty.
I tried to
right
bribe
now
my
because
people.
I need to, but I don't want to.
It was
I
too
don't
cold.
either.
The reason why, so I wanted to bring up too, when you're talking about March, April, May, people selling because school's almost out, right?
Yes.
But people have to realize right now, things are not selling in a day. I'm showing 2 homes tomorrow that have been on the market more than 3 months.
I was going to ask about the time.
Yes.
And a year ago
Yeah.
that would have been 6 days, maybe?
Or
or
hours.
less, yeah.
24 hours.
I was hearing unless they had their like offer ready to go when they went there, they may not
With
get
cash.
it. Yes.
With
Right?
cash. No, it's sad but true.
Yeah.
It really is. So that's my suggestion.
So, like,
is
if you're
get it ready
thinking about
now.
it, do it. Yeah,
Because
get
people
it.
will say, "Oh, I want to list my home," and I go, and they think they're going to list it in a week, and it takes them 4 weeks to get ready.
Well, for buyers right now, that's great news because
Yes.
now they have options. They have a little more time, and they're going to save a little more money, right?
Yeah.
And go with. You want to be with someone when you're showing a home. You want to make sure that you feel comfortable with each other.
Right.
You know, if someone didn't feel comfortable with me, that's fine. I
Yeah.
think they should go with someone else.
Yeah.
But you want someone that you feel comfortable with because you're going to be spending 3-6 months with them, most likely, right?
Whereas last
It's
year
a
it was only a
marriage.
48-hour date. You were divorced.
It was like it was 90 days fiance.
Yes, it
Yes,
was.
exactly. Yes,
Like,
I
you
love
look
it.
pretty decent. Let's.
Let's write it. Let's write up an offer.
Well, Amy Lynn, you have been an active member of the Chamber of Commerce for years. That's how you and I were able to
Yes.
get to know each other. And you've been so involved in the community. And so I see you're being recognized through Berkshire often. So I think you would be an ideal person for someone to call.
Yeah, seems
Thank you.
absolutely darling.
And can I just share one of my
Yes.
favorite moments last summer? My favorite gift was my paddleboard, which I've told you guys. And I went most Fridays over to Salem Pond. And I always knew Amy Lynn had a home on Salem Pond. So I'm out there paddleboarding one Friday morning and I hear, Stacy Beth! I'm like, holy cow, who do I want to see? And Amy Lynn's over there in her house. I'm like, is that you, Amy Lynn? And we go over. She came out on her dock and sat on the dock, and I pulled up to her and just sat on my paddleboard. And we visited for what, 20 or 30 minutes?
Oh, that's so cute.
Wonderful. It was
really
so
was.
wonderful
I
because it
love
was
that.
just one of those moments when we're all so busy that we just stopped and
That's true.
talked.
Yeah,
so
that was nice.
You're dear.
I loved it. It was so great.
Thanks for joining us. and
Yeah,
good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hope
all
for
that
the
you're
future of
doing.
homes right here. We got
Yes.
it. Yep.
Yes.
And we know
It's
where to
good.
go.
Want somebody in your corner.
Yep.
Our next guest will help you get through the pains after an accident. Stay with us to find out more. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Having an auto accident is bad enough, but getting through all the pains and creaks takes its toll. Let's welcome Steve Baker and Andy White from the Access Accident Center to the chatter.
Awesome.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
I'm glad you made it. We've been trying to meet up with you both for a little bit.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming in.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm glad
So
that
tell
you
us a little bit
came by
about
now.
Access and what you guys do and what you do differently than other chiropractic places.
At Access, we like to focus on auto accidents, but we not only have chiropractic, we also have massage therapy. We do ozone injections, and we have acupuncture. So we have several different things that we can do to help people in auto accidents.
Oh, good to know.
So ozone, I think I may have heard of that, but will you give us a quick run through of what that is.
Yeah, ozone is a form of oxygen, and it helps a lot with reducing pain and inflammation. So it's very good after accidents to help reduce those things because they're so closely tied together.
Is that just, you're going to put an oxygen mask on me?
No, it's actually it's actually an injection. So you inject it into the site of the injury and the pain. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and we use that with homeopathics as well.
Okay.
So they do really well in helping.
Yeah. Okay. We notice people, if they come in with just like a real bad low back or some like neck pain, constant headaches after an accident, if we can get an injection in there, it's not like a pharmaceutical by any means either, so it's pretty safe for most anyone. We can help reduce the pain pretty quickly and get them back, getting recovered, you know.
Well, you know, you often hear after somebody has been in an accident that the pain doesn't come until later.
That happens sometimes.
Okay.
I mean, we've had people come in the day of accident. We've had people months later come in.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had someone come in today who was in an accident 5 days ago, and they said until today they had no pain. And then everything showed up today.
Really? Our bodies are so...
happens.
Yeah, just some muscle or whatever.
At one point, your body just won't adapt anymore, too. So we tell people, even if you're not like dying in pain after an accident, come get checked out. Your auto insurance pays for that. It doesn't cost anything out of pocket to come in. In Utah, everyone has coverage built into their auto insurance.
Really?
They actually, people don't realize this, but they have a minimum of $3,000 benefit built in per person in the car. So it's, yeah, they don't tell you that when you call in to make the claim.
No, they sure don't.
But if you're having any signs or symptoms, or there were other people in the car too, it's great to come in, get checked, get an exam, and we just check it out. If you're fine, we're gonna say you're fine. No need for treatment.
Okay.
If there's something wrong, or we detect, hey, that's a little different. Does that feel weird? Then we can do something or see what we can do to help you get through that process.
What about I haven't been in an accident, but I'm like not turning my neck good. Just come in for one adjustment. Does it just take once?
It really depends.
Okay.
You
Everyone's
come
so
in
individual.
and you get started. Yeah, we do an exam, we evaluate the area and find out what's wrong, and then we can recommend treatment for you. Because we want you to get better, not just feel better for the day. We want you to actually feel and get better so you can live your extraordinary life.
Yeah.
You can be at the top of your game.
That's what we want. Our mission is living your extraordinary life. So we do auto accidents. We have cash patients come in and just come for a one-time visit.
Okay.
We also have membership. So if people want some consistent care with massages and chiropractic or acupuncture, those are all available. We don't do just auto accidents.
Perfect.
And we have locations in Spanish Fork, American Fork, Provo, and West Valley. So that membership can be used at any of those locations. If you work one area, live in another, pretty simple to use it. Yeah.
My sister, actually, I just went to lunch with her, and she's like, Angie, you need to go get a massage. And I was like, I know, I do. And she goes, you know what? Access does the best ones. They adjusted me and then gave me a massage. Yes. So when you guys came in tonight, I was like, this must be what we're talking about.
Yes.
And I was like, Access, really?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, the best massage.
Yeah, we have some great therapists there, so highly recommend them.
Yep. Well, she did too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's check it out.
Yeah, so you're needing
Okay, I am. So I'm feeling a little bit, which I work at a computer all the time, so I feel a lot of pressure and stress, like in my shoulders and my neck, almost all the time.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Let's have Dr. White heal you.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So you can live your extraordinary life. I love this.
Okay, so we're just going to have you lay on your back.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is, right there, I'm going to have you cross your arms this way, and you're just going to roll toward me and relax the best you can, okay?
I already felt a pop.
Good.
Your body knows.
Take a deep breath and just relax, okay? Relax. Relax again. I'm going to go back. Yeah, popping comes in there. It's
I heard it. There was a lot of it.
okay, and the same with the neck. And again.
Oh boy.
That always makes me nervous.
Good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Did you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
Did it feel amazing?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a question. When you had her lay down and put her hands on her, why did you only have her do the one side? You don't need to do both sides?
because it's
So we're getting the spinous processes right in the middle. So we're actually, it's not just one-sided adjustment. It's actually right into the thoracic spine.
I'm like, oh, jealous.
Yeah.
interesting because
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, he'll now go to the other side.
No.
But you just need to do the one.
Now, if you're doing ribs, you might do bilateral, like both sides. If you're
Okay.
getting out farther out from the spinous processes and in the middle of the spine, then we can go bilaterally.
Okay.
Yep.
So I've heard, so correct me if I'm wrong, that you get adjusted, but then your body kind of naturally goes back to where it was. So normally you need a couple adjustments, or just as
Yeah,
it just matters?
it can definitely do that, especially after an accident, like we talked about, is the
Yeah.
muscles, they get injured, they get tight, there's problems with that. And so when you get adjusted, it feels better because the adjustment will help the muscles to relax, help the pain to reduce.
Okay.
But the muscles will come back and tighten up again. So we do that frequently, okay? So we can get toward healing and
Okay.
long-term healing.
Yeah,
is
and then
what we
you
want.
want to get stabilized because our goal is not to have you need chiropractic every day of your life, right?
Yeah.
Stretches help, exercise helps, drink plenty of water. People that are dehydrated, more muscle tension, more stress.
Really?
So there's a
That's
lot
my
of
problem.
I was just, I'm looking
lot
at
of
you.
evidence, right?
Diet
What's
Coke
in
is
your
not
drink?
water.
Diet Coke is not water.
Okay,
Yeah, it
I'll
actually
refresh.
dehydrates you. So that's a thing too. We tell people, half your body weight in ounces of water a day is a great starting, good spot to get to. It takes time to get there. You're not going to go home tonight
Right.
and drink a couple liters of water before bed, right? But it makes a huge difference. Taking care of your body a little bit, just like maintenance on a car, can make all the difference.
Okay. That's good
Yeah.
information.
Well, when you're aligned, when everything's in line, it seems like it would be like.
Everything's more efficient, right?
Right,
You're not having to recruit extra muscles. When you bend over and your muscles grab, likely there's something not right about that. I always tell people, if you weren't in pain when you were born, like you didn't come out as a baby with pain, you shouldn't have that. So
Right.
time to get it
But
checked
interesting
out.
you say that. My granddaughter is a month old, and she just went to the chiropractor.
Yeah.
They used forceps, and they felt like she was just maybe
off a little
struggling a little bit. And my daughter has done that with each one of her kids.
Yeah.
I did that with one of mine
Huge.
too, like
Yep.
at 3 months old. And another good time I've heard is after your pregnancy, because your body's thrown so out of
Yep.
whack. Good time
It's a great time.
Yeah,
Okay.
and before you have the baby as well.
while you're pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
A lot of changes in the body, a lot of things happening.
Okay.
A lot of stresses that aren't usually there.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that.
So it helps that.
Yeah,
So
and pulling on different, you're carrying around
It's
like
shifting
$25, $30.
Your whole biomechanics are
pounds.
shifting
Yeah.
with that.
Pounds.
so adjustments and massages.
Yeah.
Very
I think
helpful.
that's
Okay.
so important for moms, especially, right?
Yeah, I think it's
Because
a requirement, right?
It is a
Massages
requirement.
once a
Well,
month when
Disney
you're
should have
pregnant.
like
Built into
you're
the insurance
carrying
plan.
around
Yeah,
a
I'm
bag.
pretty sure that's what it is.
Actually, massages are covered after an auto accident.
Yeah.
So that is part
So-
of that.
Oh my
Part of the
gosh.
medical.
Even
See,
maybe
you've
if
taught
you
us.
don't think you need it, but you should maybe get a massage.
I think we
Well,
should.
if it's medically
I think in
necessary. it will be covered.
1986 I was in an accident and I'm feeling a little
Yeah,
tight.
so you have 4 years. You're a little late on that one.
All right.
Gosh, that's actually
We're gonna go
Yeah.
get in
a lot
an
of leeway,
accident. so we can
really.
come to
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, you wait that long, they're not going to cover anything. You want to get checked out
Right.
within a month, 2 months after an auto accident.
Okay.
We're joking,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. No, this is great information, though.
We've had people come in, I was in an accident like 10 years ago. Do you think that? No, absolutely not.
Tell us where you guys are located in Spanish Fork for those
Yep.
people who want to find you.
Yeah, in Spanish Fork, we're on 800 North, right by the Maverick and the In-N-Out Burger. Most people know where that is.
Ooh, good. Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
We're at 752 East, 800 North, and our phone number is 801-980-0432.
Love it.
Thanks
And
for coming
open
in.
Monday through Saturday?
Monday through Friday in
Okay.
Spanish Fork.
Okay.
Saturday is
Provo
where
Clinic is
Provo's
open.
open. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much,
guys.
guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coming up next, dealing with ADHD in schools can be a bit of a challenge. Stay with us to find out more on Studio Chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. If you have a student with ADHD, you may have found that the school system doesn't offer many resources. Let's welcome Diane Passy, a life coach, counselor, and a mother of 7.
Yeah, that was crazy,
the
wasn't
chat.
it?
Yeah.
Like, who had 7 kids? You know, Snow White, or, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, that was a lot. I had these kids, and when my older kids started having all of these mental struggles,
Okay.
you know, and I was trying to work my way and trying to figure all of that out, and my last 2 kids were the ones that ended up having these learning disability, ADHD stuff. And when I started looking around for resources, there just wasn't a whole lot there.
Okay.
And so I learned and I started practicing and trying to figure out. One of the things that is really interesting is that it's highly, highly inherited. So I was like, who
did
I
that?
thought it'd be
That's
my
not me.
husband. Could not possibly be me. And they're like,
100%.
Mom, it is so you. Why would you think we knew it was you all along. So it's been really good for me too, because it's helped me be able to learn how to manage my mind and what to be aware of. And you know, there's a lot of, I like to think I'm the gifted part of the ADHD, but it's really been as hard as it's been to have them at the end, and I've just thought, God, why did you, when I'm so tired, why did you give
do
me
this
these
to
at
me?
the end?
Yes.
Like, you know, why wasn't it the perfect, easy child? But in a way, I have become the most loving and accepting mom, and I love that. I love that it's really created a version of myself that I would have not have had before.
Ben, will you tell me, like, what does ADHD look like?
Right, because there's so
Exactly,
many
yes.
stigmas, I feel like,
There
connected
is.
to it.
So the part of ADHD that I always just really judged other parents on is the hyperactive part, and that's kind of what we think about
Yep. Yeah.
when we think of ADHD, is the running around a room and not being able to sit and think, super distracted. So both my boys have a different version of it. My youngest is the hyperactive part, and the teachers would just say he's just looking out the window, he's standing up and just walking around the room, he can't focus on anything, got super behind in school, where finally he was like a grade behind, and we were like, I don't know what's going on, but sorry, I didn't, like, maybe it was me, maybe I didn't read to them enough, or you know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it can look like that, or if it's not the hyperactive part, there's like 7 different types of ADHD,
Of course
depending on
there
what part of your brain it's affecting. Then it's just more of being distracted, really slow processing, and not being able to, reading sucks when you got ADHD. And math is really hard. It affects the executive part of your brain that controls a lot of time management. They just time management, remembering things from one moment to the next. They can be super picky eaters. Also very creative, really fun, and super empathetic towards other people, because they really have so many negative experiences. So many people are not very nice to them, that they like things very fair, and they will stand up for the little guy. And I love that about them. So as we kind of started learning, and now I work with teens at school with ADHD and parents at school. And I offer, like, I just found we need like a parent support group, so that all of these parents, because there's so many kids that struggle with this, all these parents need to feel like they're not the only ones. And it's because it's hard. It's hard to watch your kid not get all the straight A's, and they're not going to be getting the top awards anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you're just struggling to
get them to school.
Get
and stay
them
there.
to school, and you know, you can look at their missing assignments, and it can be like 500 missing assignments, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to do these. So,
and it's not that they're bad.
and it's not that they're
just
bad.
The way that they're processing is different.
Yeah, well, and you know, if you break down the steps it takes to turn on homework, there's actually like 10 different steps in this homework cycle. You got to hear about the homework. You've got to know what you're supposed to do. You got to bring all your supplies home. You got to set time aside to do it. You know, it's for them, one of those little links being broken, and they just don't ever get it back in. Maybe it's done, but it's not to the teacher. Maybe it's done to the teacher, but it has no name. Maybe it doesn't even make it home. You know, there's just like there's a lot of different aspects that it can do. But we do know that there are some things that we can do to help our kids when they have ADHD. And so I'm going to give you 3 of the things that are the top things that I think are the most important.
Perfect.
Okay, so the first one is that they have found the #1 differentiator between a kid who succeeds and a kid with ADHD who succeeds and one who doesn't is if they have a charismatic adult in your life. Now,
gotta have one.
You gotta have one. And if you think, like, can you guys think back to a time that you like had somebody in your life that you knew really cared about you?
Oh yeah.
So they say that 80% of their interactions at school are negative. So that charismatic adult becomes so much more important to kids with ADHD. So what I really like to help parents be is that charismatic adult, which can be really hard because you've asked them to put on their shoes 17 times and to brush their teeth 12, and they still didn't get there because you see their teeth when they get home from school. And you know, there's just so many things that just tests and tries you. So sometimes you gotta have somebody kind of come in and kind of help take that middle ground road for a little bit to help the kids start being able to be able to set goals and start doing things themselves and give the parents a little bit of a break so they can step back and start healing their relationship with their child. So a coach is a really good...
So you're not suggesting that one of the parents is that charismatic adult?
No, I think that's a best case scenario, but I think it takes some time, and I think it takes some help to be able to be that. You gotta have someone kind of step in and walk you through. That interim person to kind of walk you through, I think that's the best thing. The next thing that they find is very, very helpful is that rewards will always trump punishments for ADHD kids. They already get so much negative that they respond to rewards very, very quickly over all of the areas of cognitive development. And even though in some of these studies that they have said, okay, you get this big reward if you'll wait a little bit, or you can get a smaller reward immediately, they want the big reward, but when it comes down to it, their brain just can't do it.
Will you give us some examples of the rewards that you would suggest?
Sure. So one thing that really works, depending on age, and we always adapt these, but are charts to be able to check things off. So I have one parent that we have a chart, and there's 5 or 6 things that she just feels like she has to fight her son with every single day. So we have those listed. If he can do it without her asking more than 2 times, then he gets an initial. And every day, if he can get those 5 to 6 things, he gets $1 because his currency is big Pokemon cards that I guess are really popular.
So then he can totally
so he can learn that. But he needs to see that the star is put on his chart immediately, and then he needs to see that every day there is something that he gets that dollar bill every single day. For my kids, they love screen time. So they get minute for minute for things that they really don't like to do. So if you'll read 30 minutes, I'm going to give you 30 minutes of screen time, immediate reward for that 30 minutes of him reading. And so when he gets super behind with something, we're gonna pick the best, easiest things that he can do to get credit. We never try and make up all the missing assignments, but what are the best, easiest things, and what reward is it gonna be? Is it gonna be, look, if you can finish this math packet that will bring your grade up to a D, I'm gonna go get you a crumble cookie, whatever crumble cookie you want. And I'll, and have it there for him that day. You have to kind of play with what matters the most to your teen. And so by doing that, you have a lot of options that you kind of open up. In my support group, it's great because other parents will share things that they do to reward their kids and things that work for them. So one parent was like, okay, I'm not going to criticize my kids all day. Like, I'm just going to go one day without criticizing. And it was so successful. Her kids responded so positively that she said, okay, I'm going to do a modified version of this for the rest of the week. And then we check back every week to say, okay, how did these goals go? One parent said that as much as her daughter's super prickly, she was like, I'm gonna try and give her a hug.
I love that description.
One hug. And it can be a sideways hug, and that was okay. Or saying a prayer with a son who's really hard in the morning. Little things we do to kind of try and reward them, help them know that we love them, that they are safe in our home, that in our home, they are going to be successful and loved, and we're a soft place for them to fall.
Okay.
So the third thing that we want to do is that 60 to 100% of kids with ADHD have another learning disability or mental disorder that goes with it. So a lot of the time, the ADHD will either be hidden by anxiety, depression, by autism, or something like that, or it will go the other way around, where the anxiety is hidden from ADHD. So when we really start working with some of these teens and really start digging in, we start looking for anxiety. I see anxiety in almost all of my ADHD clients. And they will walk into a math classroom that they have not done well with their entire school. Now they're in, they're in 10th grade, and they can't even focus because their anxiety is like, oh man, you are not safe in here. You have got to get out. So they can't learn what's being taught because their brain is just like, you're going to fail anyway. So why are you even trying? And so when these kids fail and fail and fail and fail, parents will contact me and just say, I don't know what else to do. And so we start working on the anxiety part of it alongside the ADHD. How do we calm you? How do we calm you down? And so the top coping skill that works for most of my teenage clients that they love is square breathing, because they can
I just did that this morning off the meditation app. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I did it during my MRI today, guys.
You
This
did?
is crazy.
I know.
Yes, first time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's amazing. Yes, yeah, and like to
Is that
teach
what
them how to
square
really
breathing
breathe.
is?
It
1, 2,
is.
3, 4?
Yep. So you're gonna breathe in slow for 4 counts, and like really with your like stomach, with your belly, and then you hold it for 4. You breathe out and just push all that air out for 4.
I just got this in a meditation book a month ago, and I've been doing it.
That is so
and
crazy.
if you do it 2 times, scientifically, after doing 2 times, it resets your amygdala.
Just to make that square.
That square 2 times. So
Oh,
students
wow.
can do it while they're sitting in math class. They can do it while they're walking to and from classes. A lot of the students will hide in a bathroom or something, and they can do that, just to like calm themselves down so that they can be thinking logically enough to have
It like brings you present.
And
so you're
Getting
focusing on
oxygen
that.
to your brain.
It does. Well, the amygdala part of your brain is the part that is your protective part. And the problem with the amygdala, it's fantastic to protect us, but it can't tell the difference between real and imagined danger. So it's going to react the same way to walking into math as it would if a cougar comes running down and attacks you. So they feel that need to fight, flight, and freeze, and whatever it is that their brain does. So we have to calm it down and say, well, actually, we're okay. Math isn't going to kill us. Like, I may not love math, but it's not going to kill us. So we use the square breathing. We use a grounding technique called Take 5. We journal. We have fidgets. ADHD kids need something to play with, and they are fantastic with music. If they have music that they can listen to, it actually kind of tricks their brain. That gives their brain something else to do, right? So that they can focus on what it is that they need to focus. So where music totally distracts me, like,
yes, it does
like I'm kind of like singing along. But for a lot of ADHD kids, you put on the earphones, you put in the earplugs, and they actually will be able to get something done because their brain is able to do
My son was
so
listening to a podcast by typing a paper of a totally different subject, but he has to always have something.
He always has to have something on. And it's just the way that they learn how to cope. And it's the way that they learn how to manage it through whatever it is, whatever their task is. If they're given the tools, teens love being able to feel like they have control over this part of their brain that they've never had control over. So we teach them the tools, we model it for them. If I'm working with parents, I'm saying, okay, this is the tools, this is what we're gonna do, and this is how you take it home and you teach your kids with this. And then they are like, they love being able to think that this is not something that's going to control me anymore. I have the ability to do something with this.
Wow. So, Kid, I love it.
This is such important work.
Isn't that so fun?
We're out of time. We're out of time, Darna. You'll have to come visit us another time, but it's so great. Best way for people to reach out to you.
My website, DianePassy.com. My parent ADHD group, for any of your people that watch and listen, if they put in from my website the code CHATTER, I will give them half off the first, and it's super affordable anyway. It's only $97 a month.
Okay.
But with that code, it will give them half off that first month, so that they can give it a try. Come and test it out and see if they find something that will help their kids.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you
so much.
Charismatic.
There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back. We covered a big variety of topics today. What did we learn?
Jeez, that was a lot of information.
From working out, right?
Yes, love gym
so
share.
So this gives me another not excuse when I can't work out. I could do it somewhere.
So innovative.
Right?
Just, yes.
So if you guys went to a home gym, what's one thing you would really want in the home gym?
a Peloton.
That was
Maybe.
intriguing, yeah. I think for me, a pool.
Yeah, something that I haven't tried before.
What would yours be?
Probably that, a Peloton. Yeah.
Just because I don't want to
would
buy,
like
I want to try
Pilates thing, but then I would need to learn it from someone. So I
Right.
love the concept of like you could start renting them out for a class.
Yeah. And I
Which
think
would
you
be
can
cool.
also, I don't think
Bring
you
a
touched on this,
spouse.
but when I spoke to him a couple weeks ago, you can also rent a trainer.
Oh,
And maybe even just one
bring
time.
the trainer there
To show you what to use there.
Yeah,
So,
I love that too.
I am excited to see where it goes.
Me too. Yeah.
I just like, I like to go somewhere to work out. I
It
mean,
helps.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
like a
be
luxury
motivated.
place like close to home, I don't know,
Yes.
that kind of
Yeah.
sounds nice and not in the rat race of the big
Yeah.
box
And how
gym.
was your adjustment?
Great, guys.
Did it help?
Did you hear it?
Right.
Could you hear the crackle?
No.
When he first just had me cross over, like I heard it just then. I was like, oh boy,
Wow.
I need it.
Oh, wow.
So it is good.
Well, it's
and I
important.
noticed like after I've been adjusted, like the next day I'll kind of feel sore because I feel like it's the muscles like
Oh my gosh,
moving
isn't
back.
that crazy?
You know, I picked up on this. It's important to live your extraordinary life,
Yes,
right?
I know.
I love that so much. Yeah.
Yes.
It was a
And
good quote.
Amy Lynn has lots of good tips on the housing industry and market. And fun fact, Spanish Fork City gave more multifamily building permits in 2022 than single family. So it was shifting.
So it's shifting
yeah,
a little bit.
But it
I
was
thought
high,
so.
and then in July, it just
kind of dipped.
dropped right off.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It was a crazy year, and I feel like this year will kind of be that same.
I know, and we have kids that are right in the middle of that.
I
Like,
know. Mal's like, I'm just going to rent forever. Like, I'm fine. That's just where I'm at right now.
I hope that's not the case.
Yeah, at least
Oh,
for a
well.
little bit.
And Diane,
that's a lot of good
that
information.
was really good information.
I love the support group idea. Because just as women and mothers, we need a support group, which I always
We don't
consider
have all the
friends.
information, right?
But for someone with ADHD, that you
You
need
get so
to
bogged down
communicate.
on and feeling like my child's not succeeding at something I'm doing bad,
Right.
and then the child's feeling like it's something they're doing bad, and really it's like the mind isn't working the same as others. Let's
All
figure
just
out how we
such
can
good
do it.
information.
Yeah, good
All of
show.
it was great.
It was a great show,
was-
informational show.
A really good note to leave you guys on is when we meet again,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be March.
Woohoo!
Look at the Irish, here we
You
come.
believe that?
Yeah, we need that.
Okay, you're in charge.
We're in
Thanks for
green.
being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you learned something new, please tell a friend about us.